I could have killed that off.
Are we unmuted? She said she unmuted. Okay. All right, I think we're going to go ahead and get started. Good morning and welcome, and thank you for joining us this morning. Just a couple of quick housekeeping things for those of you on Zoom, especially if you could please make sure to keep your microphones muted. That way nothing disrupts the presentation for the other people who are on Zoom. And then the other piece, if you do have a question or a comment or something that you want to share, Allie and Megan over there are monitoring the chat, and so please type it into the chat. Everybody here, you guys can just raise your hands like normal. So, like I said, welcome. We're glad to have you guys here. We've got a lot to celebrate today, and another successful Go Big Give.
So first off, congratulations to everybody for, really a successful day. I think a lot of organizations saw increased donors, increased dollars, increased connectivity in the community. So we're excited for you, and hopefully the benefit will be felt year round. We're going to kind of talk about some of the other things that we put into place. You will be getting the Go Big Give summary sheet in your email. It will be coming out, and then all of the funds hopefully next week will be in your account. So we're using the system as much as we possibly can, which I think a lot of our reporting on our prizes and everything, it was a lot easier for us. Hopefully you saw the benefit on the reporting on your side. So hopefully that will be coming out, but your report sheet will look like this. It'll have your total donations. It will have the amount that you received from the Support Them All. You'll have the amount of the processing fees, any prizes you've won, your portion of the match pool funds, and the total amount paid out to your organization. So if you have any questions when you do that, please let us know. This is Sharon Plocky. She's our Director of Finance at the Heartland United Way, and she will be processing all the payments. So any logistics, you can start with her, and then we will all be in on the communication as well. So any questions on that?
Okay. Well, like I said, lots to celebrate. Another very, very accessible Go Big Give year with over 1.4, nearly $1.5 million raised. So just absolutely incredible day, absolutely incredible effort by all of you guys, and very, very much a lot to be thankful for as far as the donors go. So we were really hoping to hit that 1.5 by the end of the day, but next year.
Big goals, big goals. And one of the things that we'd like to do is we want to reconcile everything. And if there's some extra match pool funds, even if like it's an odd amount, we want to add that to that amount. And so that's the amount we have now. And if we can boost that up a little bit, we would like to, but that's an increase in what we've had in the past. And so I think hopefully we can even continue to grow that. We've been supported extremely generously by a lot of the businesses and organizations in our 4-county area. So watch for that.
Every nonprofit receives a donation. So that's something we strive for every year. We really want to see everybody who's on that leaderboard to have at least one donation, and we were successful with that again this year. We share this chart every year, usually in the opening meeting and the closing meeting, but it just gives you an idea of kind of the growth of Go Big Give over the last 9 years. But as you can see, it's been substantial growth in every category. And so that's really exciting. You know, our match pool funds, our prizes have continued to go up. Donors who are giving to more than one organization have continued to go up, and first-time donors have continued to go up, which is, you know, you think, at least I think, everybody knows about Go Big Give. How do people not know about Go Big Give, and how have they not given to Go Big Give? So it's really encouraging to see that there's continued growth with the donors that are giving dollars to your organizations.
One thing I'll add there is that $135,000 there with the match pool funds and incentive prices, we did not get a $15,000 grant that had always supported those those prizes and matchable funds. And so we not only were able to overcome that, but also still see an increase. So I kid you not, the generosity of our sponsors has been tremendous. So I just thought that was important to note that we worked pretty hard, our teams.
I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this slide, but it's just, and this whole slideshow will be posted on the website under the toolkit. So if you want to go back and review any of these, or you want to show any of these statistics to your boards, I just don't think that you guys want to sit around and listen to us read off statistics. We all have better uses of time than that. But you can kind of see the breakdown of where the dollars are going in this slide. As far as the different fields of interest and different causes that Go Big Give supports. So prizes.
So as Melissa said, we kind of talked yesterday and we're like, we want to give you the information. So you'll see the survey results, you see who won and all of that. It's going to be information. We're not going to go through each one of these painstakingly, but we did want to have a conversation on prizes. Next year is going to be our 10th year and we have plans to change things up a little bit, retool it, revamp it, improve it,
Possibly rebrand it.
possibly rebrand it. Hopefully not change the site or the platform. But so we do want to just run through the prizes. And if you have feedback, if you will go like yay or nay, we kind of did that later on. But if there's any part of the prizes that you have some feedback on, this is the time to share it, both online, just again, as Melissa said, put it in the chat. But if we don't know it, we can't change it and can't improve it. So the board challenge, the 100% participation from the board members, do you think that grew the gifts? So yay or nay, thumbs up, thumbs down? I saw.
My only thought was when they had it, it ended on a Sunday. So most jobs, I don't think, you're not gonna have your board member on the weekend do it. Then you should do it on Monday.
Good
Or
feedback.
Friday, it's better to make sure that all the board members do it.
That's the stuff we want to hear. Any other thoughts on that?
And the reason behind this prize, just so you guys know, we want to reward the behaviors that we want to see. And you guys are out there asking a lot of donors to give dollars to your organizations. And in that same tone, you should be able to say, and my board has participated in this as well. And so this prize is just a way for us to kind of passively aggressively encourage your boards to all give. So you don't have to.
Release the. We heard some beeping.
Any questions or comments that come out? So that you want to-
Okay, so the feedback was that we ended the board participation on a Sunday and most business people weren't probably checking their emails and all of that. So that last push might have been problematic. They've disconnected. Maybe.
Having some technical difficulties. Did the TVs turn on?
I keep hearing beeping.
Oh, we're getting closer.
So maybe we'll get this back. Okay, then we have the daily random drawings for pre-give. Yay or nay on those?
They're still not showing.
Thumbs up, thumbs down? Okay. And then the grand prize winner there was the ARC of Central Nebraska. So congratulations to all who did well on that. Any feedback on that one? Okay, the last one during the pre-give was the most, oh, Megan.
We have a comment in the chat about giving. They said it would be nice if giving would be like, so include the day of giving instead of every day before.
Okay.
So that might be something we might need to look at.
Okay, so the feedback in the chat was that we don't cut off the board challenge in the pre-give. We extended into the give day. And we talked about that a lot. We were just trying to get organizations to have that initial push. And if your board were initially involved and you're highly engaged, that might have a ripple effect later on. So again, the behaviors that you want to see. So that was kind of the why behind that, was otherwise inevitably we can all procrastinate. Well, can't we? So good feedback. Or even maybe adding some kind of a board challenge during, later on. The most amount raised during pre-give, I think we had several tiered prizes. So if you have comments on the overall tieringness, the tiered efforts to try and level the playing field, we take feedback on that. Otherwise, it's pretty much just the most amount raised.
As far as I know, we were never informed of what tier we were in as an organization. Is that something?
It really didn't matter to you guys as much as it did for us, but it was based on the amount raised last year. And we just took all the organizations and we kind of chunked it into thirds. The top tier, the middle tier, and the bottom tier. So that it was kind of a equal number of kind of participation.
So since this was our first year, I can assume we were in tier 3. Is that right? Or
Probably
Yes.
tier 1, because I think tier 3 was the higher, because we've got Edgerton in tier 3 here.
Yes, so you were in the one with the lower amount, yes. And I don't know that we'll stick with that next year. We kind of talked about, figuring out more random prizes because those seem to go well, or
We did it a little differently, even the tiering, than we did last year. Last year, we did it based on the budget amount that you guys reported. But then we found that wasn't working very well because some people were reporting 0 or they weren't reporting, then you have outlier organizations that are statewide organizations whose budgets are like astronomical, but their actual local branch isn't really what that is. And so there's just a lot of things into play when it comes to those budget numbers and whether people are reporting equally and equitably across the lines with what that looks like. So the tiering has been more difficult than what we expected it to be. But the whole point of it is to level the playing field. And so we went back, like Karen said, to those donations, split it into thirds. So you were competing against a smaller amount of organizations that were raising about the same amount of money as you historically.
any other feedback?
We're just having some major technical difficulties apparently. So match minutes, we've been doing match minutes for a long time now, but we would love some feedback on the match minutes. That's one of the prizes that we struggled with the most this year, and how it looked and how it works. And we have over lots of years, as you guys know, many of you know, that money's gone, in a snap. And so it's really hard to be able to grab a piece of it. But at the same time, it seems as we go through, you'll see the stats on it for this year, but a lot of money comes in. So I think it's a really engaging tool for the donors, even though they might not get matched, they seem to like the competition of it. But I'd love feedback on match minutes and thoughts around that.
it made it really rewarding for me when I was making my donations at 2 o'clock in the morning to know that one of them were matched.
Do you mean the half-hour
The
prizes?
half-hour prizes, that would have
That's
been
a little
that.
different. Yeah. Yeah.
But yes, it does reward people being up in the middle of the night.
We had someone in the chat say a lot of their board members end up getting twice, which will throw off the donor data.
Well, we have systems that track the unique donor data, and so it'll filter by your email, your first name, last name, and then we can even do a little more detective work if we need to on that. And we did on several of them.
So even if you try to trick the system and you give us Melissa Delate and Missy Delate and Mel Pete, all those different things, we're going to figure it out one way or the other.
Or her dog's name or something, yeah.
We can pull credit cards, we can pull addresses, we can pull all those different details to make sure that those unique donors are as close to truly being unique as possible.
And to that point, like, we'll look at that. Okay, here's the credit card, it matches, but there's a husband and wife share the credit card and there's 2 different names. So we really try not to have as much in prizes on the unique donors, just so that we didn't have to manually kind of do as much on that end. But so the match minutes, You love them. One of the things we did talk about doing was changing that up, and everybody knows the exact minute it starts. And so it's kind of fast and furious, and next year will be our 10th year. So if we do the match minutes, not saying that we don't tweak it some way, but we might randomly select within those 10 minutes what that
Or within that hour.
match
Yeah. The 10 o'clock hour.
or something.
Yeah.
Just trying to not have.
So
it
it's
be
not so
fast.
easy for you to, it just randomizes it even a little bit more. It's not so easy for people to get on right at 10 and stack it up. We'll possibly, Megan and Allie are going live and they're drawing a minute out of a hat and saying, okay, our match minute this year is 10:11, and that's what time we're going to go for the match minute. And it just randomizes it a little bit more.
Yeah.
We want to continue to see the dollars being spread as far as we possibly can get them. Everybody get a prize and a cut.
So the give a latte, did we talk about that one?
We haven't talked about give a latte and give s'more. Those are our other hours that over the last several years, we've done those prizes. We haven't gotten rid of them. But they also are the prizes where we seem to see the most donor engagement around them. The dollars are the money spikes during those hours. One is for highest per capita. One is for most gifts made. Again, those are tiered now. Any feedback on those? Thumbs up, thumbs down. If you guys aren't comfortable too, you can email us. So. Okay.
Most outside gifts outside of Nebraska. Royal Kids Camp Wanda, I guess we're back online. Any feedback? It was a lot because we filtered it. Yeah, it was high. Yeah, it was either like, 26 and 86. Yeah, it was. Yeah. The overachiever prize. This is the greatest increase in the amount raised. It's kind of nice to give the newcomers a little boost and a little challenge there to have a successful first year.
Okay, let's go live. That's again where we're on Facebook. We're encouraging those Facebook videos and that social media engagement. Any feedback around that? Getting thumbs up from some people. Okay.
And then the 308 Power Prize. Those organizations that had raised $308 by 308. Just celebrating our area code. And then
We had someone in the chat ask, is there any way to do tiered levels on the most gifts outside of Nebraska?
When we looked at that, there wasn't a lot. I mean, there was like Royal Family Kids had a lot and the rest were kind of really chunked together. So a tier, I mean, unless we did it multiple prizes.
And I think we'd want to see a lot more engagement from outside Nebraska before we were to funnel more dollars into that prize.
I think there's,
a higher level of donations coming in from there before we went into tiers, because then we'd have to break that prize amount up.
Mm-hmm. And it was really a cluster at 20 and under, and then the outlier of the winner was kind of. So. Anything else?
We had someone ask who is responsible for reporting under out-of-state charitable solicitation acts.
Say that again. Who is responsible for what?
Who is responsible for reporting under out-of-state charitable solicitation acts? I don't know quite what that means. I don't know.
No, it's an online portal. So where our base is where we do. And so if people find it, I mean, it's not like we need to have a license to go and have received donations from Oregon. If we were in Oregon and they had a charitable licensing requirement, then we would need to do that, but that's not what we need to do, so. I don't know if that's what they're asking. We can visit offline on that one, but
Someone online also said, can do prizes for outside of the United States.
can do. Well, we just said outside Nebraska, so,
Yeah, does that count?
yeah. Out of country, yeah.
Okay.
Then we had the surprise prize.
So this is just a random drawing when we get silly.
Surprise prize.
So we're just drawing extra surprise prizes. We started this last year. It was more of a surprise last year than it was probably this year. But just a fun way to throw some extra dollars out there completely randomly. Okay.
It was just a nice boost for some people. No one had to do anything. It was just kind of really a surprise, so.
Okay. Additional questions, like we said, and comments can be directed to either one of us. And then we already talked a little bit about the half-hour prizes. Those are, just give a gift and you're in the drawing, and it randomizes actually automatically through our system. Those are pulled. So that's, if anybody wonders where those names are being drawn from, it's an automatic thing that comes out of the Neon One back end. So.
And once you win once, you can't win again. So we try to spread that out. Okay. And then the fundraising goal page, the fundraising page, all-star prize, just trying to encourage other people to set up pages for your benefit. So we've just put like $50 or $500 towards that. Any feedback on those two prizes?
It's another opportunity to reward the behaviors that we want to see and the engagement that we want to see for you guys. So, okay. Well, on to some kind of stats and information on those prizes and where we're at. Like we said, those match minutes bring in a lot of money. So $56,000 in the first one, $45,000 in the second one this year. And then you can see kind of how those broke down. The red is the first match minute, the black is the second match minute. And remember, donor prizes are matched up to $100 per donor. So it goes fast.
And then the Give a Latte, we kind of already talked about that one, but these are the stats. And so, as Melissa said, the Give a Latte gives some more, all of this stuff. You guys can access it, share it with your board, strategize, think however you want to do that. And then the other big winner was that there was $21,633 in fees that were covered by your donors. Just went on and just added that in the checkout cart, which makes it really easy. And this year we defaulted it. I think last year we defaulted it too. It was just the last 2 years. And that makes it even easier. They have to almost uncheck it and unthink it. So
support them all. We put this in place a few years ago for organizations or for donors who don't know who to pick or want to give to everybody. This year it raised almost $3,400, which I think is another record.
Well, actually, this is pretty low. Last year, I think it was like 33,000 that we had in there because everyone got like roughly $33 or whatever it was. I don't know. I can't remember. One year was higher, but we had somebody make a large gift in that, and that just makes a difference on that. And so, another thing, if we want to continue to do that, we might do some extra communication on that. But you'll just see that it's an equal amount. So 3371 divided by 151 will tell you what you get there. So
fundraising pages, almost $54,000 are raised through fundraising pages. So people are out there doing them and having success. Definitely a tool to use in the future for each of your organizations if you're able to.
And there were a lot more fundraising pages, I think, this year that did a good job of, hitting their goals and stuff. So hopefully that helps.
Challenge grants, over $125,000 were given in challenge grants this year. And so that's just, again, a matching opportunity for you guys to go out, talk to people, see if they'll challenge you to surpass goals.
The one thing we did want to talk about was the volunteer aspect. This was new this year, and if you pulled your reports, you might have seen that you had some volunteer names and opportunities to connect with them. So we really want some feedback on this. One of the things that we looked at with the checkout process is this is how it appears. And I think more specifically, this is the questions that are asked. So yes, are you interested in volunteering for this organization? How many hours? That might be a little aggressive. And then is this donation in memory or honor of someone was also kind of part of that. But I don't know if we tried to say, can we just take the hours off and it's either all or it's none for this year. But we wondered if you felt like adding the volunteer piece was worthwhile for you, or if you felt like maybe having to commit to or respond to at least how many hours in a 12-month period. I can't even think what's next month myself. But feedback on the volunteer question that was added. You liked it?
Yeah, we're sending that information to the service coordinator. But she would have to put it in kind of parts and that was actually good.
So we just had some feedback from the audience that it was really helpful because they've seen less volunteers coming in. So they're passing it along to the person who's in charge of that and are able to see if they can engage those volunteers in their day-to-day work.
How many, just curious, how many people here have seen a decline in volunteers that haven't come back from COVID? A lot of you?
Oh, yeah.
I think it's kind of one of those issues that we're trying to think about how you can do that. We do have the go-to-volunteer.org website that you can register your spots and you can go and make sure that you keep that information up and it'll keep generating information out as volunteers sign up to get a match. But honestly, just trying to think of the why they're not coming back is an important part. Megan?
I was just gonna say, I really like that piece of it, but I fully agree because for me personally, there were a couple organizations that I gave to. I was like, yeah, I'd love to volunteer. And then it asked me how many hours and I was like,
I don't know.
What?
It's a commitment suddenly.
Depending on like what they
Yeah.
need and what their need is and what I agree with really good, like you said, like what am I doing tomorrow versus next week? You know what I mean? Like it's fun sometimes to think.
Yeah.
We definitely at Grace appreciate the in honor for the memory of somebody because that gives us that thank people and then also send that and then families if they can.
That was the point I was about to make.
Yes,
Yeah,
for sure.
So Megan from Grace is talking just about, appreciating the volunteer piece of it, but that actually having the volunteer hours made her feel a little bit anxious after seeing that piece. After she clicked yes, she would volunteer just because life and you don't know what that volunteer opportunity looks like and that sort of thing. So we'll talk with the platform about that. But also Megan was talking about the memorial in honor of gifts. And I was going to make that point. There is a report for you to be able to pull if you go in there when you pull your donations out to see if anybody has selected the, please remember to mute your computers or your phones so that we're not getting feedback. But those memorial in honor of gifts, you can pull that out. And then it is important, and Grace does this, they send a note to either the family or the person who it was in honor of, just to let them know that that gift was made. And that's, the person who's making that donation probably wants that family to know that, or that person to know that they did that in honor or in memory of them. So it's a great way for you to just have another touch and a reason to touch with a family that you've impacted or with the donor that you've impacted.
Think that the volunteer question was necessary, but it also kind of Lisa is nice. Just but she was wondering if it'd be possible to have a detailed sense of organization. Hopefully it's just in the report.
Yeah, all this information is in your report. If you've had trouble accessing the report, just contact us. We can help you get that. But it should, all the information should be there. And if you look at the numbers, you know, there was good response, and there's 322 donors said they wanted to help, and maybe it'll be like you said, a great way to follow up and say, hey, thanks for, supporting us during Go Big Give. And also, we heard you wanted to volunteer, but 18,000 pledged hours, that's kind of, a big number there. So, but I kind of agree on that, because I know when I was checking out too, I was like, awkward. I just didn't know.
We
So,
asked them if we could take it down, but they automatically populated those questions and they were unable to put in a request for us. We were all like, we're in the nonprofit world, and we love volunteering. That's
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah. we actually, what would be more helpful for me is like if, like what kind of volunteer work do you want to do? Do you want to do clerical work with people, or, so, but again, we can make the request, and that's why this is so important now, because we make these requests and we already have a list of improvements for next year that we put into place, so that, come January, we're like, what do we want to do with Go Big Give this year? So.
You might tell me that some people aren't expecting that question.
Right. That's kind of what we were saying. I mean, yeah.
Could you have, instead of how many hours do you want to volunteer, just have a statement in there that if you mark yes, the organization will contact you with volunteer opportunities?
And we could definitely ask them. It's just, it was an all or nothing as it was this year. So hopefully they'll be able to customize that a little bit more next year for us. It was just, if we wanted that question, it was a package deal. This is what you get. So.
And so keep track. If you guys had some volunteer story, success story, like you connected with somebody through Go Big Give, and next year, the media always love different angles of, the same event that we've done for 10 years. So that might be a really good storyline as well. So, and as we mentioned, that we have all these survey results. We are not going to go through all of these, but you have a nice area where they're compiled. Overall, people
Overall,
were
very positive
favorable.
favorable responses to most everything. So lots of satisfied people with Go Big Give. You can't hardly even read that. That's around the prizes and who was satisfied with that. But like you said, you can check this all out online. So 100% participation in Go Big Give last year, though. That's a big one, how likely they are to participate. Then they've got the donor surveys, which are similar.
I think the why they chose to give and how they found out was also important for you in developing like marketing as well as us strategies there. For us, we love the feedback that it was easy to do and that, the website was doing what it was supposed to do.
Did anybody receive any feedback from their donors regarding the website this year and ease of use? No. Okay, then it's perfect.
There you go.
Finally.
And then we're going to change it. We actually, every year, we always kind of look at other platforms, would it be cheaper, less processing fees, all of that. Because as you know, the Greater Grand Island Community Foundation, the Heartland United Way, take nothing from Go Big Give. We put a lot of resources into it, but the processing fees are what it costs, the platform and the credit card and the ACH charges that we have there. So
next year, Thursday, May 4th, May the 4th be with you. We will be celebrating Go Big Give and might have some sort of fun theme around that. As I mentioned before, it is our 10-year anniversary. So we're considering a rebrand, and we won't change the name, but the look and the feel of Go Big Give might look different. So before you put anything out, maybe touch base with us. My hope is that we will work on this sooner than later so we can get it to you if we do it. But we've got to get our teams together and kind of see what that looks like before we make a final decision.
if you have any creative ideas, there's a lot of creative minds, share them. Like, let us know that, hey, have you thought about this? This is some, we tried to think of something symbolic in the Heartland, and that's where the Go Big Give and the takeoff of the, Husker Red was important. So the calendar of dates will be coming out, but the big one is just knowing that date. And then we have a prize.
Surprise prize, not a surprise prize. $10,000 endowment prize from the foundation. And just as a reminder for everybody, this is a randomized, you used to be a drawing, we use a spinner now online. Megan will come up here and take care of it for us because she's super talented like that. But if you raise $10,000 or more on Go Big Give, that's how you get into the drawing for this endowment. It's a $10,000 endowment at the foundation.
Any other comments that you have, thoughts that we didn't capture here, or give you a chance to weigh in on something? Yeah.
Just a general, like, thank you,
Oh,
because you guys did a really good job. I made a big mistake. Because I went into the office and they fixed it with no problem, and I appreciate that so much. But I think that we all appreciate what you guys do, you know, and the hours we put in.
our teams are, I mean, Megan and Allie and Sharon, relatively brand new to a lot of this, and they just rocked it. So,
Yeah.
But I do appreciate that, and you know, it's fun. It's a lot of work, but it's a fun way to raise funds and to really impact our the Heartland area in such a big way. So hopefully it's an easy way for you guys to kind of communicate your mission. And you ready to give drum roll?
Drum roll. And just as a reminder, if you have won this prize before, you are no longer eligible. It's a one shot. So just as a reminder. Aurora Adopt a Pet. Wow. Exciting. Congratulations.
That's awesome. I know the people getting close. That's
Yeah.
like,
Makes your heart stop almost. That's exciting. Congratulations to Aurora Adopt a Pet, and great job to everybody who was in the prize wheel for that this year.
So Allie put together some little thank you gifts. So online people, if you want to stop by, get your little thank you thing. Stop on by and get that. Thanks for everybody who brought the yard signs. If you still have a yard sign, please drop it back.
Please bring them back.
We will get them back out to you next year, but
We need the inventory, so please bring them back.
We want them back with somebody else.
Somebody took our sign and
well, or the wind or something. Maybe it got caught in a mower or something. That would be a bad thing.
Found it out in the yard all mangled up.
Yeah, well, we'll mark you off as just get rid of that. Yeah.
I have it, but I didn't.
All right. Stop recording.